Our special guest today has enjoyed a well-deserved lie-in after 12 years on the GMTV sofa. He's journalist and jet-setter Eamonn Holmes. Also joining me, early riser James O'Brien and night owl Maria McCurlane. Now, to start the show, I want to discuss those things we were once so excited about, but now we're just so over them. Now, can I just tell you the thing I'm really over?
Yeah.
I am so over designer labels. Now I feel that buying something really expensive because it's got some well-thought-of label attached to it just makes you look like you are advertising your extravagance and stupidity and gullibility. I thought, why would you want to make that public?
Yes, it's very victim sort of mentality, isn't it? Spend like £6,000 on a bag and to put yourself on a waiting list for a £6,000 bag.
But it's not even that. It's that I think, and perhaps it is cruel, and I don't apologise for that, which is that it's a sign of insecurity. Whenever I see someone in something desperately fashionable or having read what they should be wearing and then going out to get it, I think, God, they must feel really unsure of themselves to feel that they need to follow those rules and get everyone else's approbation.
I don't care what the label is. I'm just grateful that it fits. I don't care what the label is.
So, Maria, what are you so over?
Mine is sort of similar to yours in a way that, you know, the sort of pack mentality, the fact that we all buy in hordes. And I know it's slightly controversial because they are for a good cause, yada, 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 but it's the charity bank bracelets that now come in absolutely every colour that you possibly imagine, and more that you can't. I'm very much over them.
I am too. I am, especially when people have that kind of pile-up of them.
You can't care about everything.
I am wearing my heart on my sleeve. I am a good person.
It's to show exactly how, you know, if you want to give money to charity, fine, shut up about it.
I know, that's the Maimonides thing, isn't it? OK, James,
I'm just checking your audience to make sure I'm not going to offend anybody here.
Please offend someone.
I don't know, I'm very lucky, actually, because there's not a single old person there.
Oh, you're a creep.
I've had enough of old people. Or rather, I've had enough of the idea that they're all very sweet and friendly, which they're just not. I got run over from behind by a mobility vehicle in the supermarket. I've still got the bruises to prove it. And just crossing over slightly from all old people into a particular group of old people who we generally treat as very sweet and nice and, oh, aren't they Cliff Richard fans.
I thought you were going to say Cliff Richard.
Look, there's a bit of...
And Cliff Richard.
There's a bit of hissing in the audience. I think you've got a few Cliff Richard fans in today.
I'll be able to spot them. They'll be the ones with blue hair and a steely glint in their eye.
James, I hate to tell you this, that you're very sweet, pink-cheeked, fresh-faced youth stage of life, but you too will get old.
Yes, but I'll be nice when I'm old.
No, you won't. You'll be a grumpy old git.
The presumption is that they're all sweet little Miss Marple-type characters, whereas in reality, they're just as likely to be miserable gits at 80 as they are at 8.
There can't be any fun getting old if you have to be nice about it.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yes. Now, I know you only have sweetness and light and have nothing bad to say about the world, but nevertheless, what are you so over? What do you hate?
I am over Speedos, Nigella. Everything was fine, and then Beckham came along, and, you know, everybody's wearing them now. I'm just back from my holidays, and I thought, that's it. They're going in the wash bag, never to come out again. So I'm over Speedos.
I thought you were going to say, I'm so over GMTV.
What? No, well, that's like a love affair. That'll take a while.
Oh.
That's, you know, for the heart to mend. But there we go. Then I'll just move on like all the other viewers have done as well.
Now, Eamonn, I want to talk to you about something which I was very, very impressed by. So, I think it's the latest Good Housekeeping, you are really the housewife's favourite. You know, there was a poll, let me tell you, of who their readers fancied out of the sort of celebrity lineup. Mr. Holmes here, #1 pin-up. That he is the man that every Good Housekeeping reader is just dreaming of.
Who did he beat?
Why do you sound surprised? Gordon Ramsay. I beat them all. Beckham and his Speedos.
Everyone, the lot. So, I want to know, are you thrilled about that? Do you look at yourself in the mirror and do you shave in the morning?
These were all women over 40. I just want to know how much over 40 were they on these bikes that you were talking about?
Maria and I want to know what's wrong with women over 40.
Well, when you get there, Nigella, when you two get there, it doesn't matter. I'm just chuffed to be top of anything.
Oh, please. Somehow modesty ill becomes you.
Stop it. Stop it.
But, you know, do you think, I mean, when women have, I always think, a much more mixed view of what makes a man attractive. They like men to be funny and bright and clever. And do you think men are more uniform in their tastes about women?
By and large, I think men just like women to be nice. And that's very hard to come by, isn't it?
Nice
no, I do.
looking.
Men, I think if you're a man, you like basically to be treated like a child. So, you know, Father's Day comes, you should buy a man toys, you know. But men, I think men, by and large, want a quiet life.
Well, they do.
Right, boys, or not?
Yes, I do.
But in theory, everyone wants a quiet life, and that's the difficulty. But there's
But a
always...
woman that gives you a quiet life becomes eminently more attractive, no?
But men sometimes get bored of the person who gives them a quiet life. So I don't know.
And also, the person that you're attracted to initially has to be, you know, babe-tastic. Isn't that the truth? You don't suddenly say, she's got a lovely personality, I'd like to whatever with her, do you? You go, look at them on that.
But do you think that's what drives all successful men, the fact that they want to be attractive to women?
Well, I don't know. I'm neither successful or attractive. I don't know.
I was going to say, I've never seen you stuck for words there, Eamonn, but for a moment...
No,
So
I don't think so. What? So that there's this yearning for men to be attractive to women, and therefore that's how they register their success.
No, not so much that, but the fact is that what men want to be is the man that women all flock to, and so it makes them try and be successful to impress women. You know, it starts when you're young and at school and you want to impress girls in the playground or whatever.
Well, I went to all boys school in primary and grammar school, so I missed out on that bit.
So you were a late starter?
I was a late starter, and I had 4 brothers as well. Only woman I knew until I was 16 was my mother.
So what drives you if it isn't to
Money. Money. And the love of the job that I do, I'm very, very lucky that I am working in an environment that I actually passionately wanted to be in from when I was 11 years of age. And I was surrounded by people who genuinely, and still am, who have to work for a living. I never ever regard what I do as real work. I mean, we all work with words. Is it really? And, you know, OK, we work hard, maybe work long hours, but my father was a carpet fitter, and, you know, as a kid, we used to have to go out with him during school holidays and things to help, and I knew from an early age I definitely did not want to work for a living.
But you very famously said in some interview or other that, you know, over money or love, you would choose love, which, again, makes you very popular, I think, in the house. But you're saying it's money that drives you?
No. I think when you look at the alternative, I think, you know, it is hard to make a life nowadays. I think increasingly so. I think it's a tough world out there. And I just think I'm very, very lucky to be in an environment that I genuinely would be my hobby as well. I mean, when I was a youngster and growing up in Northern Ireland, you strove to understand what is this all about, what are these troubles all about, and you were going to school and your bus was being hijacked and there were bombs going off, and you came home to debate programmes on the television and whatever, and I from an early age felt that I wanted to explain this and I wanted to report on this, and as a result I was a television reporter by 19, 20 years of age, which was amazingly young, but by complete accident, I end up presenting lottery shows and quiz shows and all sorts of other things because I do have a passion, a genuine passion for television, which, therefore, I consider myself really, really fortunate.
But you don't get to the top of your business, though, without an extra dimension, and that's where I think you're right, Nigella, is whether it's you want to be admired by your peers or you want to be attractive to women. The difference between people in your business who are doing well and people who've done extremely well like you, there has to be something, an extra level. But a little more than talent.
I think the pitfalls in media are that so many people want to do it for the celebrityhood, and I've always looked upon it as a job. And I think when you take your eye off the ball and you forget that it's a job, then you're in trouble.
Yeah. Eamonn and and I are poised to make white tiramisu.
White. I love white.
Because you know what? Why I'm doing this especially for you
Yeah.
is because I do happen to know that you don't like coffee or chocolate.
No,
and normally
not a fan.
tiramisu has both those features, so this is a special one. All it is that generally tiramisu is sponge fingers dipped in coffee, and I've got the sponge fingers there, but instead of dipping them in coffee, there's a very, very nice mixture of white rum and milk.
You are so considerate. That's
well,
lovely.
I try my best. And then you layer up. I mean, tiramisu is really just like a trifle. It's an Italian trifle. It means pick-me-up. Did you know that? And that's why you have the alcohol. And instead of what we would do in Britain is have a custard, they have mascarpone, which is, I never know whether to describe it as a kind of creamy cheese or a cheesy cream, but it's that slightly very fatty, delicious.
Yes.
You can get it at the supermarket. That is whipped up with some sugar, and there's eggs. You just separate the eggs. You have 2 yolks and 1 white, and then you layer it up with meringue. These are shop-bought meringues, so it's all very easy. And I'm going to get you, if I may, if I just put the milk and the rum, nice cocktail, grown-up smoothie, in here. All I need you to do is dunk those biscuits in there and then put them here. You'll probably need 9 or 10.
And you don't mind fingers. We don't use implements. So.
Oh, I don't use implements.
No. This is just like being at home. I'm always peeling potatoes for those kids and doing everything. Makes us...
Do you cook much?
Oh, see me? I run that house.
What do you cook most? What do you like cooking most?
I tend to eat more than I cook, really. I like most things, unfortunately. You'd never guess to look at me.
I'm just going to... OK, will you just start lifting them up and putting them there?
And why did you break that? Does that matter?
They will break. No, because it's like a trifle, so it will. Only because we were chit-chatting a bit too much.
Right.
It doesn't matter at all.
It's all gone
tastes
messy.
more delicious. Food is messy. That's what's so good about it. But if it disturbs you...
No, it doesn't
stop at once. OK, so I've got my various bits of eggs. This is some yolks and sugar. Look. Put my mascarpone in. Put my egg whites. I think people are always far too anxious when anything to do with eggs is involved, and you don't need to worry. I mean, if you don't want to use raw egg, then just bung a bit of whipped cream in with the mascarpone. But otherwise, you're fine. And also, I don't worry at all about being gentle with egg whites. I think you have to treat everything slightly brutally.
Yeah, gives you muscles.
I know, it's the only form of exercise I take, really. Very good for the upper body. OK, I'm going to do a bit of layering, unless you want to. With trifle, I think it's really important just not to get worried about the amounts, because the thing is, depending on the dimensions of a dish, you'll need more or less. It's just about doing layers. Very, very nice.
Very nice.
Well, I mean, not very nice at this stage, but it tastes nice later. So I'm going to do a bit of a smoothing on with this layer, and then, this is rather pleasant, if you would like to. I like something destructive while I create.
OK.
So just crumble that meringue in a brutal fashion
like
over there, yes.
Like Incredible Hulk.
Yes. See, look how strong he is. We ought to add special sound effects. OK, I'm going to have one. And why should you have all the fun? OK, so this is just... You continue layering up. You've got sweet hands you'll have now. Continue layering up like so, and then cling film fridge. And it so happens, by sheer coincidence, I do have one here.
Very nice.
OK, then now, just because it's nice to do, a final bit. See, that's what it looks like when it's doubly layered. Bit more crumbage on top. I mean, have you got a sweet tooth or a savoury tooth?
A savoury tooth.
Yes, you're like me. Can you manage to force down
a
little bit of tiramisu all the same?
Like a bit of meringue. Very nice.
Keen up in one. OK, let me carve you out a delicate little piece. And I shall add a few raspberries, just to have a bit of colour and also slight sourness with it. And there it is, white tiramisu with raspberries for Eamonn.
Thank you very much.
So please dig in. I might have a bit... this is for the delicate spoon.
And as they say at this stage...
You're a pro.
Nice.
What an honour it is to have you.
Your rum's coming through.
Good, I like that. Now, it always seems that Christmas comes earlier and earlier, and this year's no exception. So much so that those in the know are already predicting this year's top 10 Christmas toys. So if you're a parent, please concentrate, because this is a sneak preview of 4 of the toys your children will be clamouring for later in the year. I have amazing Amanda here. She is indeed. Come on, wake up, Amanda. Amanda, wake up.
Say my name, Mommy.
Amanda! See, look.
She's gone into a coma.
She's gone into a coma already. Come on. Come on, Amanda, because she can do lots of things.
Sound like Mommy.
I don't sound like Mummy. I am your Mummy.
See, that teaches you to be wary of strangers. That's very educational.
Will Mummy be back soon? I am your Mummy.
Please, till Mommy comes home.
You see, I can feed her. I've got pizza here. Eat. Have some pizza.
I'm going to phone Esther Ranson in a minute.
Look.
I've seen Nigella with her children, and this is exactly the same.
See, look, she's eating and she's got a potty and she can go to the loo and she gives a commentary as she goes to the loo. I mean, this beats
Like
my
most
tiny
children.
tears into a cocked hat.
That's sick.
That's because you have no sisters.
What?
See, my brother would know that these dolls are very precious to little girls.
Well, does she do anything
Talk
useful?
with your mouth full.
OK.
Feel better.
Oh, she's not feeling very well. She's going to start crying in a minute. Now, while I just soothe her, would you like to show me?
Yes.
I've got Eamonn a special Darth Vader mask because he is from the dark side.
Well, this in itself may not look like much. But it gets better. No, you've got to do this in the right order. You've got to do this in the right order. This is the first bit. And then if I press the orange button, and I put... Did you get it in there? Nigella.
There's another way from that strange and frightening man. See, that's very good, isn't it, that, the special sound effects?
No wonder he pants and breathes the way he does.
That's just
Anyway,
the Rebel Alliance wouldn't have had a chance if Darth Vader had been brought up in Belfast.
Now, you actually like that, Eamonn, don't you?
I do.
You really want one
I
of
do.
those, don't
Now,
you?
this is useful. That is not useful.
It's useful.
This is useful. See?
Don't wake her, please. She's going to sleep now. She's going to sleep. So, James, could you show me your tumble tigger?
I'd love to. It's small, orange and noisy, but not related to David Dickinson, I'm told.
Out at the end of the month or soon
This is
thereafter?
out in a month, by the end of this very month,
Well, if
and
you're
around
lucky.
30 quid, so you can't really complain. Now, if I squeeze this in exactly the right place, something amazing will happen. Rather like my wife, actually.
What's that?
Now, that's impressive.
That is impressive, isn't it?
Whoa.
Can you imagine having this in the house, though? It would drive you mad.
That is... That's very true. It falls squarely into the category, something to buy for the children of people you hate.
And now, Maria's got a very, very exciting proposition there.
You probably recognise this. This is a double-size Furby. This is a new version of the Furby, which you may remember. And it has 32 different facial expressions. Not that I know. Frankly, I didn't know what the facial expressions were anyway.
And it's like Maria. It sings and dances, tells jokes and plays games.
Not in my house, it doesn't. See, I've never got the whole Furby thing because I don't know what the hell
They speak
saying.
Furbish. It is a proper language. There are people in universities who study Furbish, and I'm not even joking. People who are very lonely live with Furbies because they're like a pet that you don't have to feed, and they do communicate, and they do have something that seems like free will that isn't. You see, Amanda goes through a kind of routine of saying certain things, whereas a Furby, you can... That's it, Furby just
I'm
carries
suddenly
on.
seeing them in a completely different light now.
Yeah,
now
who do you
say
like
this.
best?
I
like
think
Darth
if I've got
best.
to live with something and I'm going to be very, very lonely, I'm going to have to take Amanda.
I'm going to give that to
Yeah.
Charles for Christmas.
Yeah. Imagine when you come home at night and he's stuck to standing at the top of the stairs with this on, hey?
I would find that deeply thrilling, Eamonn.
I like it. You should buy it now, though, because, of course, it'll be sold out by September.
But I always think that when they say these are going to be the top things for Christmas, children will have something else to say about it, and it'll be charity bracelets that they'll be clamouring for.
Now, I know that Christmas is still a long way off, thank goodness, but I do have a fabulously snowy treat for one of my studio audience members. So could you be looking at your keypads? It's a gourmet skiing trip for two to Mirabel, staying in a luxury chalet, thanks to purpleski.com. So if your one has lit up, please stand up. Come on, be brave. skiing before? Oh, well, that'd be fun. I have to say, as someone who really adores the snow and the Alps and who never skis, but the food there is very, very good. And you can just stay in your chalet and have melted cheese and hot wine. Yum. Very nice. Have a good time.
Thank you.
OK, I'm back in the kitchen finally, searing some salmon, and I feel it's a bit odd to start off with pudding and end with a starter, but that's how life is today. And this is a salmon. Now, although it's fresh salmon, not smoked salmon, it's cut really practically as thin as smoked salmon. If you can't find it that thin, just use the little escallops. That will do. Just cook them for a bit longer. And then they're just seared in a pan, and then you pour over a dressing, which kind of continues to cook them. Soy is the first element, lots of lovely saltiness. And then some rice vinegar, which it's the acid in the vinegar that continues to cook them. And in fact, I often eat this with raw fish, but I don't want to spook you all. And some ginger, lovely and warm, and that's really strong tasting. Small bit of brown sugar, just to balance the saltiness of the soy and the acidity of the vinegar. And then after that goes on the plate, a little confetti of chives and red chilli. So after our Christmas toys, it looks very Christmassy. I shall just begin by searing the salmon. Turn this up a bit. You don't need to do too much there. And I am really searing it, not frying it. There's no oil in that pan. Then get the dressing ready. I've grated the ginger into here. And on top, I mean, it's not really cooking, is it? Soy, vinegar, sugar. Have a bit of a stir. And then turn this over. Don't worry if it breaks up, because it's a starter and you're just going to throw it over some leaves on a plate. And there we are. And then from there, I think I'm going to call that more or less ready, because it'll continue cooking in the dressing. I'll show you that. It is quite, this really is great like that. They're like little rags, little salmon rags. And here we are. We are all stations go. On with the dressing. There's enough dressing there for a bit more salmon. Very, very good. And then I'm going to use my fingers because it's easier to get it on properly. A few little ribbons of salmon on here. Little confetti shimmer. Chives and chilli, and there we are.
I'm thinking that's Eamonn.
Seared salmon with ginger for Eamonn. And for Maria and James. I'm going to carry about my business here. You've got forks there and there.
James.
Thank you.
Enjoy it. There we are.
I've enjoyed it. It's been very nice.
It's been very nice to have
Best
you
chat
here.
show I've ever been on. Head and fed.
Oh, that's
Very
amazing.
nice. Come any time. Thank you very much, Eamonn. Thank you, James. Thank you, Maria.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye and see you soon.